Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here with the telephone hop number 4. So this is the 4th time that we have done the telephone hop with the Secret Not Secret Kit Club kind of crew. And so I am going to put a layout together using a sketch that was sent to me. So if you've been following along with our past ones, basically you only ever see the person before you use layout, and then so you can kind of watch the progression of where a layout starts and where it ends as it goes through all the people, and you can see how much it changes. I think this is probably one of our favorite hops to do, and so we are back with round 4. I am number 5 in this hop, and so if you have missed the layouts previously, I will have everybody's link down below so that you can go back and see what the layout looked like at the beginning and then where it is now and the layout that I'm going to create. So then tomorrow you'll have someone else who will use my layout to create theirs. So I am also, for my layout today, I'm scrap lifting, or my layout is going to be based off of Melissa's layout, who was right before me. And I'm actually filming this back in January. And so back in January, I had created a sort of a color mood board that I was going to use for the month of January. And so it just so happened that I decided to pull out some papers to use that kind of followed this mood board. So this video won't actually go up until February. But I thought I would pull out and use this mood board and do a layout anyway. So here is the mood board that I was using in January. So it's very kind of winter, warm, or sort of wintry kind of colors. And so for the layout today, I decided to, before I go to put the video on fast forward, that I would just kind of show you this mood board again, and that I would show you just the papers and things that I pulled to go with this and what I'm kind of keying off of from this mood board for this layout. So I'm going to say for this one, I am, and if I hold this up, hopefully you can see it, but in here, this sort of leaf floral there's a very light hint of blue, which you can kind of see in hints in here. And so I'm definitely going to be pulling in toward the blue, and then this sort of tealy green blue as well. And then so you will see some of this, kind of these colors kind of come in, definitely the creams, some of the creams and off-whites are also going to get pulled in. Maybe a hint of this sort of red or brick kind of color here, but I'm going to stick more toward the blues, which I, in previous kits, had steered more toward the greener side. I'm going to go toward a little bit more of this bluer side for this one. So I'm going to use some items in this little page kit that I put together from my January hip kit, as well as just some other items from my stash. So I'm going to show you really quick the papers, and I'll leave this off to the side so you can still kind of reference the inspiration. And so I have 2, these are from my hip kit from January. These are probably like Traveler's Notebook and then Project Life type cards. I'm going to use those. I'm going very much toward a star kind of theme for this page. I also have this very old piece of scrap paper from this is the Wildflower collection from way back when, from Cartabella, and it is just like a distressed wood, and this is going toward definitely the lighter greens in this, but I am going to use this to back my photo. Now I have this piece of pattern paper. This is from Crate Paper, and it is the Snowflake collection. So this came from my January hip kit, and this is pulling definitely toward the darker shades of the teal, blue, green color in here, and so that it definitely matches this floral or this vine kind of pattern or vine in the picture, and so I'm pulling from that. And then this piece of just very neutral pattern paper is actually from a paper pad, as you can tell, and it actually is a Christmas paper pad, and on the background it has these little dachshunds, which I am not going to use, obviously, for anything remotely Christmas. So I liked this one because it was just a really, it had some pattern in the background, but it was a pretty subtle one, and I wanted a pattern paper for my background. I'm not going to do any mixed media on this one, so I wanted to have something that had a little bit of interest to the background. So I will be using this for my background. I am going to pull, before I start the layout, I am going to pull a piece of cardstock, which I will mat this entire layout on, but this is the majority of what the background will be. And then I will quickly show you sort of the bits and pieces that I pulled. So I have these little gems. A lot of this came from my January hip kit. And so there's the little gems. I'm thinking it'll probably be like these colors down here toward the bottom that I'll probably use. And then this is the picture of my son that I'm going to scrap. I have a stamp set here that came in my kit. The only thing I'm going to use from this, I think, is I'm going to stamp some of these little stars on the layout. So we'll see how that goes. I have some chipboard, and then I fussy cut from one of the papers from that January hip kit. It was a specialty paper. I cut some of these stars. There was a lot of snowflakes in this kit. I veered away from all the snowflakes, and I basically just went for stars. That's kind of what I'm going with. And these have a sort of rose gold or copper kind of color. I have this little clip that has a little bird, which actually is perfectly matched to this teal blue color here. So I'm going to put him on there. However, I'm not going to use this clip. I'm going to actually take him off that clip. And then I have just some frames and some vellum stars, all pieces from the embellishment packs that came in that hip kit. So those pieces. I have a sticker sheet here. This is a hip kit exclusive, and there it shows you on the back everything that's in it. Again, from here, probably the only thing I'm going to pull is anything that is a star, and I think there's maybe just a couple. So I put this in, maybe I'll pull something. I'm not sure I will actually use that. And then I'm actually not going to use that one. So then I have these Dear Lizzie very old stickers that I'm going to use for part of my title, and they have that same rose gold color to them, so I'm going to use those. I have a very old hip kit letter sheet in dark blue. Then I have these thickers that came in the kit. They are called Chill. And they again are in that rose gold. So these were the ones that went with that crepe paper collection. And so that is all of those. I only think I will end up using the stars off of this. I don't think I'll be using any of the words. And then I have a very, very old sticker sheet that I plan to use for one of my words as well. And this is a very, very old sticker sheet. I don't even know the company that this was from. I think it was from like a paper pad that had stickers in the front of it, but it is really, really old. But it definitely picks up the lighter blue color in the mood board. So these are the items that I pulled. I am going to go ahead and put the video on fast forward, and we are going to put this layout together. And so, like I said, I will have all the links to everyone participating in this hop down below. So please be sure to go back and see the layout if you missed any of the earlier takes on this hop. And be sure to check back every day, because there will be a new person taking the next, that layout and creating something. So with that, guys, I will hop over and we will put this layout together.
Okay, so before I actually start talking about the layout, I have a couple of corrections from my recording earlier. when I was filming, thought for some reason that I was fifth in line. I am actually fourth in line, and Ronnie Sue Scrapper will actually be next, so she will come up tomorrow. So I'll have all the 3 previous videos linked below, and then Ronnie Sue will have her video up tomorrow based on my layout. The other correction is I am actually using or bits and pieces from the December hip kit, not the January. So if you went to the hip kit website to see what was in this kit, it is actually the one for December. So now that I've gotten sort of that out of the way, I am going to go ahead here and we're going to walk through this layout. So like I had said previously, I am taking that stamp set that had come in the kit, and I just took these little stars that were part of that stamp set, and I am just stamping with some, I want to say this is Night of Navy or something like that, I believe is the color. And I'm just stamping these stars in a few places on my layout. And this is just to add some texture and interest to the background. It felt very flat. I always find when I use a piece of pattern paper that's got a subtle pattern, it often feels flat, so a lot of times I'll put splatters on it or do something to kind of make some interest on the background so it just doesn't feel so plain. So once I have that done, luckily I'm not using wet media here, so I'm able to kind of move on with the other bits and pieces. I am going to take the Project Life card and that Traveler's Notebook card, and I'm going to use those on this layout to back my photo. I'm also going to take just those different pattern papers that you saw me show at the beginning, and I'm basically just going to layer up a whole bunch of pieces underneath my photo. So not all of them will go completely around the photo, just that wood grain one from the Wildflower collection goes all the way around the photo. The rest of them kind of are either oversized or smaller than my photo, and so I just wanted to add lots of texture, which is also why you see me having pulled out my distress tool. I really wanted this layout to have a lot of texture, and so off camera I am going to rough up all the edges of all the papers that I use for this layout. I even off camera roughed up the edges of my background paper that I'm about to put these splatters on. I did find that as I was kind of putting those layers on behind my photo, I did want to still add some other interest to the background. It was still feeling plain to me. So I did pull out this Shimmers, I believe it is called Antique Rose, I think is the color. And I just did some splatters in the background. That again just adds a hint of shimmer and shine and some interest. So adding that was sort of just like the perfect, excuse me guys, perfect finishing touch for my background. Now once I had that done, I brought back in my photo with all of its layers, and then now you see I have off to the side here all of those different embellishments and ephemera pieces that I had pulled to put on this layout, and all I'm going to do is just go and start creating my different layers of embellishments. So I'm using the frames that I pulled as sort of the base for my clusters in 2 of the clusters that go around the photo, and then I have a third cluster that you see where my stamping was down at the bottom right. That is going to be my sort of third cluster for this layout. So now I am just laying everything out where I kind of had it planned out in my head. A lot of times I will have an idea in my head, and so I kind of go with it and see if it works. It doesn't always work for the layouts, but in this case I knew I wanted to do 3 clusters, and this one worked out really well. I was able to use, I think, all but like 3 stars that I pulled from my kit to use, and so I was really happy to get the majority of what I pulled out for this layout used on the layout in the end. So as a finishing touch, I'm just taking some more again of those stars from the thicker set that came in this kit. I'm dotting those around like I would enamel dots, And with that, I believe that that is going to pretty much, once I put these little crystal dots down, complete this layout. I think I used them. I might be wrong. I might have at this point thought that the layout was good. So, with that, guys, here are the still photos. And please remember to go and check out the other ladies every day, as you can see the progression of how this layout started and where it will end. So, with that, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye bye.